Atma Namaste. Pleasure to have you all back. So, this morning I'm going to begin with sharing a story from a children's book. It's a series called The Frog and Toad series. And the story goes like this: there was a frog in his garden, and a toad came walking by. And Toad says to the frog, "What a lovely garden you have." So the frog says, "Yes, of course, it's very nice, but it was hard work." So I wish I had a garden like yours, said Toad. So the frog just hands over flower seeds to the toad and says, "Well, here are the seeds. Go and plant them in your garden, and soon you'll have your own garden just like this one." So Toad is really, really excited. But before he leaves to plant the flower seeds, he asks, "How soon?" And when I was reading the story, I was thinking, this is us, right? When we start our spiritual journey, how soon? So, anyways, yeah. So the frog says soon enough. So the toad goes and he plants the seeds in his garden. And then, um, he looks at the ground and the seeds do not start to grow. So he paced up and down a few times and he looks at the ground. The seeds did not start to grow. So then he puts his head closer to the ground and he says loudly, "Okay, now seeds start to grow, start growing." He looks at the ground. The seeds did not start to grow. He puts his head even closer to the ground and he shouted this time, "Okay, seeds, start growing." But the seeds do not start to grow. So the toad is like, "What should I do?" And he's screaming and shouting, the seeds are not growing. So suddenly the frog comes running up the path and he says, "What is all this noise?" So the frog says, "I planted the flower seeds in the ground, but the seeds do not grow. They're not growing." So he's like, "You're making too much of noise. You're shouting at the seeds. The seeds are afraid to grow." So the toad is really taken aback. He's like, "My seeds are afraid to grow?" Frog says, "Yes, of course you're shouting in them. Just leave your seeds alone for a few days. Let the sun shine on them. Let the rain fall on them. And soon you'll have the seeds growing into small plants in your garden." So that night, Toad is looking out of the window and he thinks to himself, the seeds have still not started to grow. They must be really afraid. So he goes, and it's a very dark night. So he's like, "Let me go into my garden with some candles." So he goes into his garden with his candles, and then he thinks to himself, "Let me just read a story to my seeds so that they are not so afraid." So the toad reads a very long story to his seeds. And then all of next day, he reads poems to his seeds. And then all of next day, he plays music for his seeds. And then he looks at the ground. The seeds still do not grow. And he cries, "What should I do?" And he thinks to himself that these seeds must be the most frightened seeds in the world. And then after that, he just feels very tired and he falls asleep. So after some time, he just hears the frog waking him up. Wake up, Toad, look at your garden." And then he gets up startled and he looks at his garden, and there are these beautiful green plants that are coming up out of the ground. Toad is so excited. He's thrilled to the bits. He's like, "Oh my God, yay, finally my seeds have stopped being afraid to grow." So so the frog tells the toad, "Yes, now you're going to have a very nice garden." So the toad says to the frog, "I will. Yes, you're right, frog, but I will have a nice garden." But you were very right. It was very hard work. And this story for me, particularly, um, I was thinking about the spiritual path that we are all on. And it sort of just reminded me of the devotion over time that we must offer to our spiritual practice. Our practices of compassion and care, inwardly and outwardly, that allow us to become the most beautiful human beings that we can. So here we are, we sit in our meditation together, we do a spiritual practice. And for some of us, it's weeks, months, and years of practice, opening to that body of light, the depths of the healing work, the traumas of the past, and then bringing that forgiveness, compassion, kindness, graciousness, and attentiveness repeatedly over and over again, so that the body, when it is tight and contracted and so forth, can in its own way begin to open, so that the heart, which has the unfinished business of the past, can have the space to release and love more deeply, love more fully. And so that the mind that gets filled up with all the things that the mind gets filled up with, we are able to quieten it a bit so that we can see afresh. So when we do our spiritual practice, it's really aligning ourselves to that natural rhythm, to something, and trusting in something that is greater than our small sense of self. You know, whenever we are on this path, I mean, there's this poet, I really love his work, Pablo Neruda. He says, um, you can't he said, you can't pick all the flowers. You can pick all the flowers, but you can't stop spring. It's such a beautiful reminder to our hearts. You can pick all the flowers, but you can't stop spring. And that's exactly what the spiritual practice is all about. It's like when you sit in silence, when you quieten yourself, and you go into that place of nothingness, of that place of stillness, of inner peace, of inner calm. You really find and sense there is this wellspring of life force. That is who you are, and that is what you're part of within you. That life force of spring, of life, that wellspring of life force. It's that same force that pushes open the green sprouts that crack through the sidewalks in an unstoppable way. That's the mysterious life force that we are all part of. That's who we are. And every time we do our spiritual practice, that's what we are doing. Now, for some people, sitting in meditation or for spiritual, or when we do our spiritual practice, it's like, relaxing and releasing stress. For some people, it's like a pill. It's like a remedy for a problem. And then some people see meditation or spiritual practice as something to fix something. But in essence, in reality, our spiritual practice is who we are. We are a spirit. You're a spirit, a spiritual being occupying this physical form, this mental form, this emotional form. And as we occupy these bodies, the spiritual being has to be taken care of. Just the way we have a routine for our physical body each morning. We wake up, we brush our teeth, we shower. We have to have a routine for a spiritual being that is occupying all these bodies. But what happens when we see it as something to fix our lives? And life happens. Life happens. Something comes up in our life, and what is the first thing that falls out? Do you notice that? The first thing that falls out, or that is at the bottom of our priority, is taking care of our spiritual self, of our soul. I am too stressed out of my mind to sit in silence. I don't have time for this right now. There's too much going on in my life. You hear that? Everything is a mess right now. I would love to do it, but this is not the right time. How often one ends up saying all these things? But if I were to ask you to flip this around, and if we do our spiritual practice every day, so that before this overwhelm, this stress consumes you, we've been doing our spiritual practice, the spiritual being has better control over the body, the thoughts, and the emotions. so that we don't just lose it when a challenge and life happens to all of us, to all of us. So that when there is a difficult situation in our lives, when there is a challenging moment in our lives, whether it's a health condition, whether it's a relationship issue, whether it's a financial issue, whether it's an issue in our careers, the spiritual being, the soul, is able to regulate the body, the thoughts, the emotions. You're able to step back and observe what's going on. Okay, what's happening right now? What is going on? And then you're able to choose the thoughts that you want to create, choose the words that you want to say, and then choose what is the appropriate action in this situation, rather than just going crazy and panicking and just losing it and going, oh my God. Lord Buddha says that everyone has to work out their own salvation. There are no shortcuts when it comes to taking care of the spiritual being, because we are a spirit. It's an everyday practice. It's hard work. You know, there's this saying that I really love. It's better to sweat it out in your practice than to bleed in battle. Listen to this very carefully and make it your mantra in whatever you're doing in your life. It's better to sweat it out in practice rather than bleed in battle. Whether it's your health, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your career, or whether it's your spiritual practice. But since here we are talking about the spiritual practice, so what we do with our spiritual practice day in and day out will affect how the soul, the spiritual being, is able to control the body, the thoughts, and the emotions in our everyday life. Otherwise, it's a roller coaster ride. There's drama and conflict all the time. And we have these highs and lows. When things are great outside, we feel amazing. And when something doesn't happen the way we would like it to happen, it's the end of the world for us. True or not? So it's better to sweat out in your practice rather than bleed in battle. And it takes years and years of practice. It's hard work. It doesn't happen overnight. But what we don't realize is that every time we sit in silence, every time we go to that place of stillness, of nothingness, the soul, the spiritual self is actually training the body, the thoughts, and the emotions to be in that place so that when it is needed, when there's a need, when there's a crisis in our life, we can retreat to that place of inner calm, that place of inner peace, that center of peace, that is a part of us already, no matter what is happening in our lives and around our lives. And so, of course, it's a daily practice, as I said. It also, I mean, of course, there is the stress reducing aspect to it. You know, whenever we sit in silence, we sit in meditation, we do our spiritual practice. And that has its value, especially because we live in a stressful, speedy society. I mean, I'm not saying that that doesn't happen, but that is just the beginning. That's the tip of the iceberg. But what really happens is when we connect, when we are in that place of silence and nothingness, that's when you connect to your real nature, to who you really are. And then you can ask what really matters. Who am I? And what will fulfill this incarnation? How do I live this mysterious gift of life that I've been given? What will fulfill this incarnation, this mysterious gift of life? So, as we do our practice every day, yes, we sit in silence, we quieten our mind, we open the heart, and then we rest in loving awareness. And we find and sense that freedom of the spirit and tend it. And then we tend to what wants to open, grow, and blossom through our lives. So I want you to stay with these thoughts as we do our practice today. So I want you to sit comfortably. Inhale, exhale slowly. Inhale, exhale slowly. And very gently bring your hands to your heart center in a prayerful position. Gently close your eyes. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's invoke for divine blessings. We invoke the blessings of the Supreme Being, the universal consciousness, our divine parent, divine mother matter, divine father spirit. We invoke the blessings of the planetary logos, the solar logos, the cosmic logos, the lords of karma, the hierarchy of all the spiritual teachers. We invoke the blessings of all the great Buddhas, the great ones, the great arhats, the luminous ones, all the holy masters, holy gurus, the hierarchy of the angelic realm. We invoke the blessings of all our spiritual teachers, our gurus, our mentors, our guides, our inner teachers, the divine spark within us, which is part of the Supreme Being, of the universal consciousness within us, and the higher soul, a higher self. Thank you for your divine love, your divine guidance, your divine help, your divine protection, illumination, the feeding of the soul, the strengthening of our characters, the wisdom, the nurturing, and the immense blessings that we receive. Drop into your heart center, keep your eyes closed, and let's make a very humble petition. And silently repeat after me. May I be led. May the energy of the divine self infuse me, and the light of the soul guide. May I walk in that light. May that light shine upon my way. May I pour forth that light on others. May I be led from darkness to light, from the unreal to real, from death to immortality, from chaos to beauty. May I be led from darkness to light, from the unreal to real, from death to immortality, from chaos to beauty. Inhale, exhale slowly. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your hands in a prayerful position on your heart center. I want you to place your tongue on the roof of your mouth and silently repeat after me. I'm not the body, I'm the soul. I'm not any of my emotions. I am the soul. I'm not any of my thoughts. I am the soul. I'm not my mind. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine love, divine light, and divine will and power. I am that, the soul. I am connected and one to my higher soul, my higher self. I am connected and one to the divine spark within me. I'm one with God, with the universal consciousness. I'm one with all. There is only oneness. Any separation or division is an illusion. We are one. There is only oneness. We are one. Continue to inhale and exhale softly and gently. You may lower your hands, palms facing upward. Maintain your state of stillness, maintain your state of awareness. Keep your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Be aware of your feet. Your feet are turning into brilliant light. Your ankles are turning into brilliant light. Your legs, your knees, your thighs are turning into brilliant, brilliant light. Your hips are turning into brilliant, brilliant light. Your sexual and reproductive organs are turning into brilliant light. Your entire abdominal area is turning into brilliant, brilliant light. Your chest, your collarbone, your shoulders turning into brilliant light. Your arms, your elbows, your wrists, your hands, your fingers turning into brilliant, brilliant light. From your feet up to your shoulders, everything is turning into brilliant, brilliant, brilliant light. And brilliant light continues to move up. Your throat is turning into brilliant light. Your entire face is turning into brilliant light. Your jawline, your cheekbones, your lips, your mouth, your gums, your teeth, the tip of your tongue, turning into brilliant light. Your ears, your eyes, your nose, your eyebrows, your forehead, your temples, your head area, turning into brilliant, brilliant light. The back of your head, your neck, turning into brilliant, brilliant light. And the brilliant light is now moving down your spine. Your entire spine, your spinal column, your vertebrae, the spaces in between are turning into brilliant, brilliant light. The base of your spine is turning into brilliant, brilliant light. The pelvic floor turning into brilliant, brilliant light. Your entire physical body is just light. Every organ, every cell, every tissue, every bone, bone marrow, blood, your skin, your hair, everything is brilliant, brilliant light. You're soaking in this brilliant light. And now this brilliant light is saturating your aura, your energy field that interpenetrates your physical body and extends outwards. Any thoughts, any emotions that you have are now turned into brilliant, brilliant light. You're nothing but the light, immersed in light and infused with light. All your subtle bodies, your auric field, your mental body, your emotional body, are saturated with this brilliant, brilliant light. You're just a bundle of light. Just be still. You're not the body. You're not any of your emotions. You're not any of your thoughts. You are a spiritual being of divine love, divine light, and divine will and power. A spiritual being of pure energy and light. That is your real nature. And this brilliant, brilliant light that you are is now rising higher and higher, higher and closer to the ceiling. And there is another beautiful, brilliant light, 2 meters above your head, about 6 feet above your head. And this brilliant light that is rising higher and higher now is merging with that beautiful, brilliant light 6 feet above your head. And just silently say, I am that. I am that. I am that. The higher soul, the higher self. And so it is. And this brilliant light, it rises higher and higher. And as it continues to rise higher and higher, there is another beautiful, beautiful, radiant, brilliant light. Way, way, way above your head. I'm connected in one to my higher soul, my higher self. I'm connected in one to the divine spark within me. Way, way, way above your head. I'm a child of God. I'm a child of the universal consciousness. I'm one with God. I'm one with the universe. I'm one with all. There is only oneness. Just allow your awareness, your consciousness to take you wherever it wants to go. Just let go. not the body. You're not any of your thoughts. You're not any of your emotions. You are a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, divine will, and power. That is your real nature. Silently say, I am that radiant self of light. That self of light am I. I am that radiant self of light. That self of brilliant light am I. I am that. That am I. Just be still. Let go and let things happen now. Step back. That am I. Who is that I? Ask that question. Who am I? How do I live this mysterious gift of life that I've been given? What will fulfill this incarnation? Go deeper and wait for the insights to come to you. I am that radiant self of light. That self of light am I. Very gently, very slowly, move your fingers, move your toes. Very gently, very slowly, come back to your physical waking consciousness. Take your time. Gently and slowly come back. Settle back in your physical body. When we sit in silence and stillness, we generate massive amounts of divine energy, spiritual energy. So let's use this energy that we have generated. Raise your hands at the chest level, palms facing outwards. Your blessing posture. Keep your eyes closed. And I want you to visualize everyone who you love, your friends, your family. And as you visualize them, I want you to saturate them with this beautiful, beautiful golden light. Take your time. Let it permeate their consciousness, this beautiful golden light. And wishing them great joy, excellent health, huge success, progress, advancement, abundance, prosperity, and spiritual oneness. Just saturate them with this beautiful golden light, filling the entire being with warmth, with joyfulness, with aliveness, with a lightness of heart, with expansion, with serenity, with peacefulness. Now I want you to visualize all the people who've been kind to you. And there are some people we know are kind to us, and then there are formed the intention. There are so many people who are kind to us, and we don't even know about their kindnesses. So just form the intention that you're sending this beautiful golden light to everyone who's been kind to you, who's been helpful to you, and wishing them exquisite health, lots of happiness, huge success, lots and lots of success, progress, abundance, prosperity, and spirituality. And now I want you to visualize your home, every part of your home, and fill every part of your home, every nook and corner of your home with this beautiful golden light, with laughter, with harmony, with peace, with love, with joy, with exuberance, with abundance, with prosperity, and with spirituality. The spirit beings in your home, fill them with this golden light. The guardian angels who protect us, our loved ones, our families. And now let's share this beautiful golden light with our neighborhood, with our city, our town, our state, our country, and let it spread to different parts of the world. All countries, all nations, all cities, all towns, all villages, all neighborhoods, all homes, all family, saturating them with this beautiful golden light. It's enveloping the entire earth. May every person, every being be divinely blessed, be healed, be soothed of their pain, their sorrow, their suffering, their dis-ease. May every person, every being be happy, be joyful. May they be free from all their suffering, and may their lives go well. And may they always have ease, and may they get all the supports that they need. May all be blessed without any exception. And see this golden light spreading and enveloping the entire earth. And now I want you to be aware of the base of your spine, the soles of your feet, and your palms pointing towards Mother Earth. And this golden light flowing from the base of your spine, through the soles of your feet, through your palms, deep into Mother Earth, deeply embedding deep inside Mother Earth, anchoring the energies of divine love, divine light, divine will and power into Mother Earth and all sentient beings. The animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdom, the angelic beings, the human beings. Filling every sentient being and the entire Mother Earth with peacefulness, with harmony, with unity consciousness, with joyfulness, with healing, with divine love and harmlessness and helpfulness. Renewing Mother Earth and all her beings, revitalizing, regenerating Mother Earth and all her beings. Blessings be to all. Blessings be to Mother Earth and all her beings. Blessings be to all. Blessings be to all. Blessings be to all. Bring your hands to your heart center. To the Supreme Being, we are grateful. To the planetary logos, cosmic logos, we are grateful. To all the higher beings, the great Buddhas, all the spiritual teachers of all traditions, the angelic realm, we are grateful. To the divine spark, to the higher soul, the higher self, we are grateful. With deep gratitude, enormous respect, and lots of love. Atma Namaste. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes with a big, big smile.
Wonderful.